The government's tunnel vision for High Speed 2 provokes an outcry in the countryside. Its plans include the compromise of running more of the line underground, but it's not enough for campaigners against HS2 who are threatening legal action tonight.
This is the ITV News at 10 with Julie Etchingham and Mark Austin.
The Transport Secretary, Justine Greening, says the plans herald a railway revolution, but critics say it will be a white elephant that will damage the environment.
Good evening. A plan to bring cities closer together with a high-speed rail link north of London has ended up dividing opinion along the first stage of the route. The government gave the go-ahead today for the new line that will cut journey times from the capital to Birmingham to 45 minutes. It will also cut a swathe through miles of countryside, angering local people and environmental campaigners. Ministers have agreed to more tunnels and cuttings to limit the impact on the environment, but that hasn't satisfied opponents of the plan who are already threatening a legal challenge. Our correspondent Daisy McAndrew has been hearing the arguments for and against on a whistle-stop tour along the route.
The fact our train lines need attention is beyond debate, and the government thinks the answer is to spend decades and billions building a high-speed line. But is everyone on board?
That's a railway whistle. We've been making those for just over 100 years.
But that's not why this Birmingham businessman is so enthusiastic about high speed. It's because he reckons better transport links will push up his whistle sales by 7%.
For this one company, it's immeasurably small in terms of the UK economy, but if so many businesses in the West Midlands, for example, could do that, there are 35,000 businesses in Birmingham alone. If they all did that, boy, that would make a difference.
And that's the government's argument, that this investment will eventually reap big economic rewards. The new high-speed trains will go from London through Buckinghamshire past Coventry before hitting Birmingham 140 miles up the line. A second phase will then eventually go on to Manchester and Leeds. The estimated cost of all that is close to £33 billion, which will now pay for 22 miles of tunnels, including one between Northolt and Ruislip and another in the Chilterns, where the development's been fiercely opposed. Now, the journey from London to Birmingham at the moment takes an hour and 24, but when the new line is up and running in 2026, well, that journey time is going to be nearly halved, down to 45 minutes. And in theory, when those passengers get all that extra time, their productivity will increase, as will the country's.
I can spend more time in bed.
Not quite the idea, but what about the extra cost of tickets?
If it's much more expensive, then it wouldn't be an option.
But does the project have public support?
In my opinion, it's not the right thing to do, but at the same time, you know, the people that are making decisions have obviously done the numbers, well, you'd hope so.
In fact, many people say the government's figures don't add up.
I think it's a vanity project. I think it's also quite political. I think the government is interested in winning votes and they're spending taxpayers' money to win those votes. That's irresponsible, and it shouldn't be what the government's doing at a time like this.
If we look across this field here, just out the back of the buildings.
And of course, those directly affected find the benefits even harder to see, like Paul Hunt, whose family farm will be split down the middle by the new line, bringing up to 28 trains an hour through his fields at top speeds of 250 miles per hour.
They could improve the existing lines. They've only got to extend the trains, cut down on the first-class carriages, which often to me seem to be running three-quarters empty, and just do a bit of tweaking on the main line. I'm sure they could do a lot more.
He's not alone. Many favoured that option, but high speed it is. Well, it's 14 years down the line. Whether it's money well spent will take a lot longer to work out. Daisy McAndrew, ITV News, Birmingham.